Stress and smoking. The truth? No one will tell you. I was 3 days into one of my many quit attempts when it happened. I got a call that sent me into a tailspin. My boss just called me into his office and let me know that the company decided it was best if we parted ways. I had a baby on the way and no job and no income. My stress and anxiety went through the roof. I just could not deal with the stress and I had to find a way to bring my stress level down. I thought to myself, now is not the time to quit smoking. The stress in my life is just way too high right now. I need to have less stress, and smoking helps relax me and gives me less stress. I just can't quit smoking now. But something unexpected happened this time. The relief was temporary and it was gone almost immediately. However, all of my problems were still there. I started to ask myself why. I'm smoking and smoking helps me reduce my stress. Yet I am more stressed than ever. Why am I more stressed than ever? I decided it was time to look into the neuroscience of what was actually happening to me when I stressed smoke. The science told a very different story than the one I had created in my own mind, that smoking somehow helped me with my stress. How could my experience that when I smoked, my stress went down be wrong? Because that's what it felt like to me. If this makes sense to you, give me a yes in the comment section below. But as usual, science blew my mind. The more I looked at how my brain worked and how stress works on my brain, the truth became so shocking to me. It became so shocking to my lived experience that it was hard to even believe it was true. I couldn't believe what I was reading. I had to dig into the studies and the research because something had to be wrong with the data. That's how I felt. The data was telling me that smoking was in fact causing me more stress, not less. But that wasn't my experience. But my mind could not grasp this because my experience was the exact opposite. The science had to be wrong. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. A small comment in the footnotes of one of these scientific studies on smoking and stress said these simple words: there is a correlation between smoking and stress reduction, but not a causation. I had to stop and process what I just read and what did it mean? What did that actually mean? And what did it mean to me practically? The difference between correlation and causation? What I read in one paragraph from a first-year science textbook blew my mind and allowed me to see what the science was actually saying and how I had been lying to myself for 20 years. I was awed at how delusional I was and how easily I had actually deluded my own mind and myself into thinking smoking was actually making me less stress. You see, correlation is establishing a relationship or connection between two or more things without direct evidence.
Without direct evidence. Without direct evidence.
Correlation is an assumption, not evidence for reality. What? Correlation is an assumption, not evidence for reality. That means every time I smoked, I experienced less stress. And so I correlated these two things, meaning I assumed that it was the smoking that was causing the less stress because the two always happened at the same time for me. But that is not evidence that one causes the other. That is just a guess. Unless we do the research and look at the science, even though that is what my actual experience is, we do not know that that one thing causes the other. Maybe it's coincidence, or perhaps there are other things that I'm doing every time I smoke that is actually really causing the reduction in stress, and we just don't know if we don't look. Perhaps I'm just misinformed that it was the smoking because I never did the science, and I never really looked beyond the correlation. I never looked to see what the actual causation was. Causation is doing the measurements, is doing the science, and actually observing what is actually happening at a biochemical level, seeing one thing actually cause another. That is causation. And we actually measured smokers in those jobs. Guess what we found is cause and effect, meaning we have to hook ourselves up to machines that actually measure the stress and actually see what is really causing the reduction in the stress in our bodies in real time. So we really know, instead of just inferring it from the experience. I get stressed, I smoke, I feel less stressed. Do you get it? Guess what the science found? When they measured people who worked at stressful jobs, when they get stressed, and they get up and they go outside for a smoke, they have already lost 40% of the stress before they even light up. Meaning almost half of your stress is completely gone before you even smoke or light that cigarette. Notice it has nothing to do with the cigarette. Now here I am, I'm outside and I'm about to light up. Half of my stress is already gone and I haven't even smoked. And I put that cigarette in my mouth and I take that first drag. Do I take a small little drag like this? No. What do? I take a big drag. And I breathe out a big breath of air. Guess what deep breathing does? It relaxes you. It causes stress to go down. The science showed that the deep breathing was responsible for the rest of my relaxation and stress reduction. It had nothing to do with my smoking. I just correlated the two events without ever stopping to find out what was actually causing me to feel less stressed. Because every time I smoked, I did those two things too. We now know why smokers experience less stress when they smoke. It is because they leave stressful situations and they do deep breathing. It has zero, zilch, nada to do with the smoking. In fact, we now know that smoking is actually getting in the way of smokers feeling less stress. Why? Because smoking is a heart stimulant. It causes your heart to beat 6 times more per minute. Meaning, when you're stressed and you smoke, your smoking is actually getting in the way of you having less stress in your life. Meaning, if you stopped smoking, but you left the stressful situation and you did the deep breathing, you would experience even less stress than if you had tried to solve the problem with a cigarette. The smoking is not causing you to have less stress, but it is causing you to have more stress. So if you think smoking helps you with stress, the truth is, it doesn't. There is zero evidence for this. And contrary to your experiences, your smoking is stopping you from relaxing. It's stopping you from getting less stress. It's actually getting in your way and causing you to have more stress in your life, not less. This is the lie all stress smokers tell themselves. This lie keeps you stuck. Plus, it's absolutely not true. The next time you catch yourself thinking, I need to smoke because I'm stressed, just realize you are telling yourself a lie that is keeping you stuck and getting in your way from actually quitting smoking for life. Just look down in the description of this video. You will find a link to my website where I will show you how you can quit on your own or how I can do it for you. I want to thank you for your time and attention, and blessings to everyone. I will talk to you soon.